Namaskar everyone, welcome to Headlines of the Day. In this video, we will discuss major headlines of the Hindu. Before we start, I would say, if you don't separate yourself from your distractions will separate you from your goals and the life you want. तो चलिए फिर इसी के साथ आज की इंपॉर्टेंट हेडलाइंस पे नजर डालते हैं. Our first important headline is Atomic Energy, Hydrogen Power India's Net Zero Plan. It is available on page number 1 और ये related है paper 3 Environment section से. In this article, we have to know about India's long-term strategy to transition to a low emissions pathway. So friends, recently at COP27, India announced its long-term strategy to transition to a low emissions pathway to become carbon neutral by 2070. Let's look at the key points of the strategy. First is at least a threefold increase in nuclear capacity by 2032, achieving an ethanol blending target of 20% by 2025, maximizing the use of electric vehicles, increased climate finance to be provided by developed nations, and the strategy aims at keeping global temperature well below 2 degrees Celsius and ambitiously 1.5 degrees Celsius. Our next important headline is Supreme Court says forced conversions may affect national security, freedom of religion. It is available on page number 1 और ये related है paper 2 polity and governance से. In this article, we have to know what is the need for anti-conversion laws, what is the status of anti-conversion laws in India, Supreme Court's observations and what lies ahead. तो friends, इसको हमारी वेबसाइट पे बहुत अच्छे से कवर किया गया है, लिंक अवेलेबल करा दिया गया है डिस्क्रिप्शन में. उसके अलावा आप इस आर्टिकल को भी गो थ्रू कर सकते हैं. अगर हम ओवरव्यू देखें कि अभी न्यूज में क्यों है, क्योंकि रिसेंटली सुप्रीम कोर्ट सेड रिलीजियस कन्वर्जन्स बाय मींस ऑफ फोर्स, allurement or fraud may ultimately affect the security of the nation and freedom of religion and conscience of the citizens, right? Our next important headline is mutual benefit. It is available on page number 6 और ये related है paper 2 international relations से. In this article, we have to know about India-U.S. cooperation on trade, emerging challenges, recent developments and future prospects. तो दोस्तों, India-U.S. से रिलेटेड हमारी वेबसाइट पे कंटेंट अवेलेबल है, लिंक अवेलेबल करा दिया गया है डिस्क्रिप्शन में. उसके अलावा आप इस आर्टिकल को भी गो थ्रू कर सकते हैं. अगर हम ओवरव्यू देखें तो फ्रेंड्स, करंट ग्लोबल एनवायरनमेंट विद इट्स मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक ट्रेड एंड स्ट्रेटेजिक चैलेंजेस मेक्स इट मोर कंपेलिंग फॉर द India-U.S. to deepen their engagement in a way that is mutually beneficial, and both sides stand much to gain by enhancing mutual trust and cooperation, particularly on trade. Our next important headline is Where No Child is Left Behind. It is available on page number 7 और ये related है paper 2 education section से. In this article, we have to know what is the significance of foundational literacy and numeracy for children, efforts over the years, issues linked to them, and what more steps need to be taken in this context. तो friends, इन सारे पॉइंट्स को यहाँ पे लाइन बाय लाइन बहुत शानदार तरीके से एक्सप्लेन किया गया है. अगर हम ओवरव्यू देखें तो फाउंडेशनल लिटरेसी एंड न्यूमरेसी आर नेसेसरी टू प्रिपेयर अ जनरेशन ऑफ लर्नर्स who will secure for India high rates of economic progress and human well-being. Our next important headline is the significance of the Bali G20 Summit. It is available on page number 8 और ये related है paper 2 international grouping से. In this article, we have to know how important is this G20 Summit for the world and for India specifically, and why was G20 created. तो फ्रेंड्स, G20 को हमारी वेबसाइट पे बहुत अच्छे से कवर किया गया है, लिंक अवेलेबल करा दिया गया डिस्क्रिप्शन में. अभी के कंटेक्स्ट में देखें फ्रेंड्स, तो लीडर्स ऑफ G20 नेशंस विल गैदर इन बाली फॉर 17th समिट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड मोस्ट एडवांस्ड इकोनॉमीज एंड द फोकस विल बी ऑन पोस्ट पैंडेमिक रिकवरी एंड डीलिंग विद एनर्जी एंड फूड सिक्योरिटी इंपैक्टेड बाय रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर, राइट? आवर नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट हेडलाइन इज What are the hurdles to building schools for tribals? It is available on page number 8 और ये related है paper 2 education section से. In this article, we have to know what are the challenges of education amongst the tribals in India, relevance of Eklavya model residential schools in this context, current status and way ahead. So friends, Narendra Modi led government is pushing to set up 740 Eklavya model residential schools for tribal students, one each in every sub-district that has at least 20,000 odd scheduled tribes population, right? बाकी अदर पॉइंट्स के लिए आप इस आर्टिकल को गो थ्रू कर लीजिएगा, ठीक? Our next important headline is Trade with India doubled to $2 billion in past 2 years, Norway envoy. It is available on page number 10 और ये related है paper 2 international relations से. In this article, we have to know about the present status of bilateral trade between India and Norway and future prospects. So friends, Norway's ambassador to India said bilateral trade between India and Norway has doubled to $2 billion in last 2 years, right? Our next and last important headline is project to track small fishing vessels now makes progress. It is available on page number 12 और ये related है paper 3 defense section से. In this article we have to know about the facts related to Excise Sea Vigil 2022. तो friends, third edition of Pan India Coastal Defense Exercise Sea Vigil 2022 to be held on November 15-16 to test coastal security, and the exercise was conceptualized in 2018 to validate various measures that have been instituted towards enhancing maritime security since 2611, right? तो दोस्तों आज के लिए इतना ही. Thanks for listening. For regular updates you can follow us on various social media platforms.